welcoming environment as the gray fogs have returned back to the streets just in time to lend a dreary air to the place as you patrol the streets of South Ward looking for more of these ominous circles of blood that have been graven into the stones and under bridges and hidden places within the South. Sort of traversing, using your arcane knowledges and traveling along the ley lines that have been laid out by these circa magic circles of blood, you find more and more of them placed in hidden places and alleyways and abandoned buildings and under bridges and easements, essentially in attics. You find a total of 20 of them. You take the time to basically break the magic under each circle, but you're wondering whether or not basically the magic that was involved has already been cast at this point because they seem to be inactive.
If we are mapping out on like actually marking down where we find these, is there a rough shape?
It's a pretty classic pentagram, essentially. So essentially all the intersection points, like classic. All the arcane casters among you are going, like, "No, this is classic summoning circle." There's something powerful and grim has been called into the world if it's already been used, or if we're lucky, we've stopped it from being used. But there seems to be no imminent magical power, basically, stored within the individual circles anymore at this point. So, i.e., when you cast detect magic on them, there's this residual amount of conjuration magic basically still associated with them.
Yeah. Okay.
But you do get the bright idea that perhaps you should ask people about these places because, like, it would have taken a good hour to essentially describe each one of these things. It's highly unlikely no one would have noticed the person doing it at all. So asking around and with your detect magic up, you're finding various people have some sort of powerful enchantment cast on them in the local areas around where the circles are exist. So they're either under some sort of like enchantment charm right now, or their memories have been altered. You're not quite sure which.
Can we do detect magic and see, or?
No, I'm saying that is what detect magic is telling you. They're under some sort of powerful mind control.
Anyway, my if I see good evil. So I'm a paladin. I want to see what kind of spells or whatnot I have. Would my divine sense work?
Your divine sense detects extra-planar beings, so it does not necessarily detect mind control per se. Your detect magic does what it says on the label, right? It detects that there's some sort of magic over these people. So, and it is of the enchantment charm variety.
So if I was to use a combination, I'm thinking of trying. All right, I want to find one of the people that's been charmed.
All right, so there's this page boy who's a newsie. He's like a paper, sir. No, I didn't see anything up in that attic over there. It's like been abandoned for better part of 2 years.
I didn't say anything about an attic, though.
No, I'm saying you ask him about the attic.
Yeah.
That's what he says back to you. It's like, no, I didn't see anything.
Do you mind if I check your mind? See, maybe you don't remember.
Do you want to try to hypnotize him to see if you can get him to remember?
I do want to try to hypnotize it.
That sounds like something a Lola basically like shaman can do.
Right. So, I wish I could do this accent. How about let's do you believe in hypnosis? Maybe I can find those hidden memories that you don't no longer remember, and I want to use basically a combination of detect thoughts and encode thoughts to try to
Okay, that's perfectly fine.
pull out memories.
So, all right. So roll me a let's see, your persuasion or deception or performance, whatever is better for your character, I guess.
Persuasion or performance, is that what you said?
Persuasion,
good.
performance, deception, any of the above might be used for hypnosis. Those seem reasonable.
Well, yeah, totally. Don't have it. Yeah, that'd be just a straight charisma roll.
Okay, well, let's start with a straight charisma roll then.
-1. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's a 3. Yeah, no,
Okay.
he doesn't. I can't even get to casting the spell on him.
Okay. It's like
I give guidance.
that's not going to help with a 3. Unfortunately, you roll a silver coin, shiny silver coin between your knuckles, basically, and try to catch his attention to it. He sort of his hand darts like a viper, grabs the silver coin. Here's your paper.
Yeah, that works. But wait, no, but pay attention to.
Oh, damn it!
Oh.
But you're reading the paper, and there's something interesting, like on page 3. As you're sort of disgruntledly flipping through the paper at this point, because you hadn't read the morning news sheet at this point, you might as well read the paper.
Right.
There's finally apparently the local constables have found one of the missing bodies in South Ward at this point. The missing body completely drained of blood in the morgue, supposedly, and the local constabulary is asking for people to come in and identify the body.
I think we'll definitely go try to identify that body. Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a middle point on this pentagram on the map? Like anything that's like, holy crap, this building exactly in the middle.
It's right in the center of Southward. Which happens to be the paupers' graves. It's effectively the poor person's, like nameless person's graveyard. So if you have no name and nobody knows you are, this is where you get buried.
Got it.
Which may be another place to go check out, right? So
right.
that's certainly worth doing. Okay, so you head over to the local morgue for the Southward. The local constable's office has definitely seen better days. Bricks are falling out of the building here and there. The roof slates are missing in a lot of places. The front door is like slightly askew. A sort of bored-looking constable with sort of twirling his billy club, and his uniform, which should be like completely crisp and clean, is like stained with grease here and there, as if he's been wearing it for like the better part of like up to a week or more, and hasn't had it laundered. Like, boy, what you looking up there? We don't take kindly to. All right, head around to the back. Down the cellars where the morgue is.
Thank you kindly, sir.
So you head back through a back alley. There's a sort of dumpster that has been like emptied in like better part of a month. It's just overflowing loose papers and half-eaten food. And there's just like, as you approach, there is the Rat Stampede that basically, squealing rats run every which way. As some of you are basically doing the you dance, trying to get out of their way. They
Right.
disappear into every little nook and cranny of the storm drains and little cracks in the buildings. As you come around to the back, and there's sort of like an open storm cellar door with both of the steel doors sort of flipped open at the moment. There is a strong smell of formaldehyde and death, like wafting out from the morgue. You're assuming basically that lots of people sort of like end up here, usually in a rather putrid state, because based on the smell coming out of there right now. You can hear this sort of tuneless humming, sort of coming from inside, and sort of like a sing-song woman's voice. You eventually round the corner and head down the stairs. A short flight of stairs, maybe going down maybe about 10, 11 feet. Go through a low set of double doors that swing open, and you see lots of steel tables with cadavers, with loosely draped thin pieces of cloth tossed over them with dubious bloody stains here and there from however they died. You're guessing that are still seeping blood. A woman is like hauling up basically a long pair of lungs and plopping them on a scale at the moment with a sickening. It's like she's wearing a pair of spectacles with numerous basically monocles that can be flipped down to magnify things. Her hair is basically pulled back in a messy bun. Her reddish brown hair is pulled back in a messy bun. She has a smear of blood like straight across, like diagonally across her face. It's like she's the one making the tuneless humming as her what was probably a white smock at some point basically has numerous blood stains all over it. She's basically pulling out a saw and is like sectioning out a section of ribs at the moment to get at further organs inside a cadaver at the moment. She looks up at the lot of you as you enter. It's like, you here for next of kin? It's like, you can take a look through the cold lockers over there. She points to a stand of about 12 lockers sitting at the far side of the room. About 4 of them are open at the moment with sort of cadavers sort of sticking halfway out. It's like, don't mind the mess, essentially. They won't bite.
They don't bite now.
Can Krishana try and match her humming and go over and ask her if she needs help?
It's like, you sort of look over in a morbid fascination as she quickly autopsies the corpse, basically sections out individual organs, weighs them, and plops them into individual steel like bowl containers in this large table, like rolling dolly that she has next to the cadaver at the moment. It's like, you a practitioner of the medical arts?
At one point, yes. My father doesn't want me in his office anymore. If I wear gloves at this time, she'll start putting on gloves.
Was your father trained physician or barber?
Whichever backstory you would prefer. He's noble.
A dabbler, basically, in other people's guts. I like that. So what brings you by, basically, to look at this person's guts? As she plops out, basically pulls out, like, handfuls of this guy's guts and starts spooling them into another... Are you one of those people that is squeamish about, basically, the insides of people, or are one of you those people that is fascinated?
I'm going to take medicine as my expertise, so she's going to be fascinated.
Okay, so you just watch in fascination as you watch her expertly dissect this cadaver into its component pieces until there is just a hollow cavity inside. It's like she begins to stuff the inside of the cadaver with cotton and various basically sort of piney smelling herbs and various. So it's obviously to stave off the smell and make the cadaver probably presentable for an open casket, basically funeral. So it's like, Well, give me a hand, essentially. Grab the rest of that cotton wadding over there and start stuffing.
All right, she
Every
will
other
help her.
handful, grab some of the boughs of this holly and pine, essentially, and stuck it in there as well. Keep down on the smell, and keep the flies away.
So she's gonna do her Barney thing, try and pick up on her, and then ask her about any weird cases that she may have had, especially drained of blood.
Oh yeah, like 5 or 6 corpses came in recently, completely exsanguinated. Not a drop of blood in them. It's like made them hard to dissect. So, but as far as I could tell, they were killed by a quick stab to the neck. Precise, single blow.
Oh,
Like, with a
professional work,
knife?
you would think.
She wanders over to one of the cadavers on one of the tables. There's about a dozen of them in here. Flips aside the sheet, just like points at this weird triangular neck wound. So it's obviously been made by one of those, like a bayonet type blade, which has to make really bad bleeding wounds. And this person has obviously just been stabbed, like one sharp jab to the neck, right in the jugular. Very precise. Whoever did this basically knows exactly what they're doing. This person would have bled out in probably less than about 10 seconds.
And how many have you seen like this recently?
Are you
That
thinking
seems
this type
odd.
of bayonet?
Yeah, triangular blade, except basically it's like... So either a bayonet, basically, or a specialized tool
Well,
for
yeah.
basically stabbing people.
It just has that triangular look. That's why I was...
Yes, it has a triangular... It's obviously a triangular blade, so it could very well be a bayonet. So...
And how big does it appear to be? The size of a bayonet?
But it doesn't seem like an animal of any sort. Not like...
this is done by a person, to be sure. But lots of people have been going missing lately. Hear the reports from the sergeants upstairs. They keep on they tell me essentially there's a missing persons report every 2 or 3 days. We only usually get one or two basic missing persons every 2 weeks, but just like every 2 days, like clockwork, someone's saying there's a loved one missing.
They have anything in
That's
common?
where we're at the moment. We're not finding their bodies though, so it's a little worrying.
Do all these people have anything in common?
You're best off asking the sergeant. Not that I can really tell as far as their bodies are concerned. She shows you the 4 corpses that she has that have all like been exsanguinated. There is a sort of if it weren't for the fact that she was shriveled, essentially she'd be a pretty black woman, like young-ish, essentially probably in her mid-20s. And there's a older gentleman white-haired, mustachioed, definitely a worker. He has a heavy, thick-set body. And then there's what appears to be a clerk or somebody. His hands. She shows her his hands. It's like this guy doesn't do hard work. Essentially, probably a clerk, a secretary, or something. His fingers are stained with ink, so I'd assume essentially perhaps he works for an office. And then there's this one, sad one. Essentially, really, you really have to be a brutal individual to kill little kids. But they're obviously probably one of those girls that's like sells posies and flowers at the edge of the road. Obviously a street urchin, but no, I can't hear you, Tree.
It shows that you're muted on Discord. Like, it actually shows the mute sign.
Yeah, Discord says you're muted.
I could hear you when you were talking.
Oh, we all had you muted because the thing was going on for a long time. So yeah, everybody needs to unmute her.
Oh, yeah.
The last time we played, she had us all mute her.
Okay, there we go. Go ahead, Tree.
Hi, and thank you. I'm sorry about that, but it was tax day, and I was
Right.
talking taxes, so Thank you. Yeah, just right click on me and then you can turn the thing up. So that'll be good.
Okay, so there's a young girl, probably no more than about 10 to 12 ish, that in sort of simple but well washed and well worn clothing that, i.e., it's a hand me down from somebody older in her family, but well maintained. Uh, just like so. I was hoping this girl's family would have found her, but no one's come to claim her.
When did she come in?
So each of these individuals within the past 3 days. So the first one, the young black lady, she was the first. The older gentleman next. The younger, this clerk next, and this young girl within the last few hours.
Wow.
So it's the bobbies and the constables that found her. The locals essentially, they found them like stuffed up in like attics. Someone was complaining about the smell of blood. That or in back of it, or in so this one in a back alleyway, this one in an attic, this one was this girl was supposedly stuffed up in an unused chimney.
It's a lot like where we found all those circles.
You ask her about if they found any like weird sort of circles of blood nearby, or no?
I mean, yeah, was there any sign of strange rituals, or is this just like violent murder? These seem so professional and clean. I don't see.
It's like a real butcher there. So whoever did this basically knows their way basically around a blade and knows how to kill someone quickly. No, I'm saying you don't see any signs of struggle. Essentially, these people were like precisely stabbed in the jugular. They bled out quickly and probably went unconscious.
Yeah, I think.
Any signs of being restrained or other
No
marks?
signs of being tied up. So you do not see any sort of ligature marks around the neck or signs of struggle where their hands or are scuffed up, or you can see ligature marks on their wrist where they've basically been restrained by cuffs or rope. So they were pretty much like stabbed in the neck and basically bled out quickly, and that was it. Hey, Squirtle, do you want to play this evening?
I don't think he's in the voice chat.
He's not.
Yeah.
Krishana is thinking, it's like when you prep something to be harvested, you kind of prepare them first, you know? You get like a bucket, you have them restrained, you get a bucket underneath to catch it.
You bleed
He's
him.
kind of weird that they would just walk up, stab them, and then be able to harvest it right there on the street, on the spot. Without leaving any mess behind.
What is can't remember, what is Clancy's character's name? I think it's Athera or something along those lines. He's like, not if you're not if you're a blood sorcerer.
Clancy is Avani.
Avani.
Yeah.
So Avani basically is like busying herself, basically making a pool of like a dish worth of like bloody organs, basically dance at the moment. Like, as you all look over her direction, it's like, well, I guess that's not actually super necessary if you can make blood flow at will. as you're all as Charlie is like slapping Avani upside the like punching her in the shoulder. It's like. So, not if you have magic that otherwise basically gets blood to move for you.
Do we?
That might be a class of a suspect then.
Yeah, that might be some skills that they have. Oh, do y'all want to go ask the sergeants and the constables if they have any information? We can say that we're private eyes. And Krishana, if you would talk for us, because I'm gonna fuck it up.
I think that sounds like a good idea, and then we could
Certainly,
find
any
out that.
questions you would like me to ask, dear?
Okay, so Papa Shay, do you, since you do want to effectively be a voodoo Loa, do you want to have Speak with the Dead as part of your spell list?
I mean, sure, that would be fun. I will glad. I mean, I guess is it?
You are a Loa. You basically you are a follower of Legbug, the spider Loa, and you can speak to the dead. So
That's awesome.
Which would be
All
good.
right.
Since this is mainly a detective campaign, anyways, that's a good thing to have.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to go to the little girl and cast Speak with Dead. That's a first spell, right?
I think that's a second level spell, but everybody's third level, right? So
Right.
So you should have second level spells. So
it's third level necromancy actually.
it's third level necromancy. Okay, well, you do not have it at the moment, but you do know the Grand Shaman that perhaps could lend you a scroll if you're willing to basically spend some money on it or a favor.
We will. I suggest that we do that, and yeah, because being able to talk to these guys to figure out what's going on, they might have seen their attacker.
Yes.
Or heard them, or smelled them, or known exactly where they were when they were attacked. Very good information.
So the blood cleric is
Let's finish up the interview with the constable and the sergeants, and then we'll move on to talking to the Grand Shaman of the Grand Voodoo, essentially, for that Papa Shay happens to work under. So the sergeant is this handlebarred, mustachioed, sort of classic constable. He's a little pot-bellied and a little bit older. His reddish hair and his reddish brown hair is starting to show streaks of gray. It's like he's sitting at a desk that has way too much paperwork on it. It's like as it seems to be an uphill struggle to continually deal with the ridiculous amount of cases that come in through the South Ward. Like, busy man, ask your question quick and go. You got 5 minutes.
Krishana, tell them we're private eyes.
Greetings, we are Private Eyes from the company of and Chill List, the Blood Clerics company.
Like, look, you may be licensed detectives, but that doesn't mean jack to me. Because state your business and be on your way. I have plenty of work already, essentially beyond basically looking up fly-by-night mistresses and basically Johns.
Okay, so these 5 people, do you know their last whereabouts, where the bodies were found? Any family ID connections or friends connections?
Points to 3 red flags up on the South Ward map behind him. It's like, we found them at these spots, essentially. Take notes for yourself, and basically you can go ask whoever you want to ask there. Your detective license will get you, is as good as a police constable's badge around here, at least.
Would you mind us looking through any files you have on these dead?
It's like, you can talk to Lagos over there, essentially. The black fella. It's like, he's the one that interviewed, found most of them.
Well, thank you. Any other questions for this kind gentleman? He's busy.
Is there
Nope.
anything that
I'll
we
go to
can be on
Lionel.
the lookout for that would help
Sir, and
him?
then Same line of
You
questioning.
guys hear me still?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Solve why people are going missing every 2 or 3 days around here, and to get this case off my desk. It's building up already. Essentially, I've got at least 20, 30 individuals that have gone missing, and I have no clue where they are.
We will do our best to assist, kind sir.
So he hands you this list of individuals' names and where they have been found. The people that have been named to be missing, essentially. It's like, I don't even have time, basically, to track down I don't have the time or manpower to even track down, basically, if any of the cadavers I have are the people that are missing off this list. So maybe you can help me out there.
We gladly will. Are any of the people identified from the 5 bodies that were down in the morgue?
No one's come to basically claim they're dead, and I don't know why. It's like, you'd think that would be the first thing on their minds, but since you've already realized that most of the people in the general area have been like mind controlled in some way, maybe they don't even remember to pick up that their people are missing at this point. Maybe they've forgotten.
Mind controlled, that's another characteristic.
Yeah, so whoever can do this stuff also has a powerful ability to mesmerize individuals. So you head on over to Lagos. He's this. Good day to you, gentlemen. And lady. What can I do you for?
She will get very flirty with him and really close. Greetings, sir. How are you? And she'll ask the same line of questioning that she just asked the sergeant. People where they were last seen, where they were found.
Well, I only found the 4 we got in the morgue at this point. So he describes in pretty good detail exactly where he found them. So you have the exact intersection, the exact hidey hole place that were left. There's surprising, given that there were completely drained of blood, that there's no bloody footprints, no splatters of blood anywhere. So it's like magic was used to clean it up. It's like never seen anything like it. Anyone taking a neck wound that bad essentially should have bled all over the place, but not a drop of it to be found on the ground or the walls or anywhere around them, or bloody footprints. Like spooky.
Are any of the 4 identified?
I asked around, and everybody seemed to not know who these individuals were. It's like as if they were like never seen them before. It's like I don't know exactly what. Like maybe they were taken from someplace else and stashed there, but that seems an awful lot of trouble and would cause a lot of consternation and people noticing if you were to be moving an unconscious, bled out body somewhere. So I would have expected someone to have seen something, but just like it's as if they had never, and no one had seen anything.
For his opinion, is it off that these people, like, no one has claimed the bodies?
It's very odd.
Versus-
Essentially, everybody has somebody around the South Ward. Essentially, you can't get by on your own around here. Essentially, nobody lives here by themselves if they have. It's like that, or you're not long for this world in the South Ward. It's like you have to know somebody to get by around here.
I live on my own.
Is photography would be something that would be accessible in this age?
Yeah, the photography is fine. We can assume there's photography. So,
We'd like to get pictures of these people. Maybe we can find their next of kin.
well, it's like your gold to spend. Essentially, it's like it's a pricey hobby. It's like, so I'm saying photography equipment is certainly available, but it's super expensive. It's not like something.
Yeah.
So you're probably looking at like probably a 300 or 400 gold piece item essentially to have a camera, and you're probably looking at like 5-6 gold per photo to take a photo.
So Dirk has minor illusion. Would he be able to?
Are any of you an artist?
Would Dirk be able to look and
You're
see?
more of a singer, and she'll curtsy to the gentleman and
I
start.
don't think he can. I don't think Krishtana can hear you.
Can you tell
Yeah,
him to
unmute.
right click on
Krishtana,
tree
unmute.
and unmute me?
Yeah.
Am I on mute? I thought I'm not on mute.
No,
Mute tree.
You
Oh,
and
on
Tree keep
tree.
talking over each other, so I think you can't hear her.
Okay.
Okay, well, don't know
I
how to
think
fix that.
okay, try.
Can you hear her talking now?
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I
Right
won't
click.
show muted because it's not muted from my side. I think it's muted on all the individual people. And you have to right click on my name and then slide the bar. Can you tell him to do that?
Yeah. Hey, try right clicking on her name and check out the options that are there.
And
Check
then
out
make
her
sure
volume and see
volume
if
is
she's.
not. Volume is at least set to mid range as opposed to like
Yeah.
completely nothing.
So, Lawrence, can I ask you? Dirk has minor illusion. Is he able to look at them? And then when we go and interview people, he can hold out a piece of paper and do a minor illusion of one of their pictures on it?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so we can do that in lieu of spending all that gold.
I need a performance check to basically do it well.
Okay. The photography probably wouldn't have been that good anyway.
Well, I'm saying the photography will probably be perfectly fine. It's just expensive.
Oh, okay.
So I'm saying it's like a 300, 400 gold piece item to probably buy the camera, and then you're probably looking at 5, 6 gold per photograph. So
So can you hear me, Krishana?
Can you hear Tree?
okay, I think he's gonna try to rejoin here.
Oh, okay. Because I think he just, I think he hadn't right clicked on me yet.
He felt bad. Thought you were trying.
Right. Well, it happened
you
to me
hear her
one
now?
time. Hey, Krishana, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yay! Happy day.
Right.
So I just asked Lawrence if I could use minor. Go ahead. Go ahead, Lawrence. It's fine.
Okay, so you basically practice doing a minor illusion of each of the exsanguinated individuals, and you have where their corpses came from. So you're probably gonna need to do some legwork and basically check around those areas at this point. But at this point, Papa Shay is going. I'm going to go to see my Hogan at this point. She might have a scroll or something for me that would allow me to speak to the dead, and I think this will get us to the bottom of this much faster.
Might know of any magical beasties that could be making this happen too.
Exactly. So, Papa Shay goes off to his Hogan, and an old Jamaican woman is like, Irie, what brings you by, Papa Shay? It's like I have not, what is pulling at your spirits?
There's a lot of dead people showing up on the streets lately. I'm trying to find maybe some magic that could help me talk to them. And then any idea of any sort of magical beastie that might drain somebody's blood and then make those forget that they existed? It's a strange question.
I would say a vampire. That would be the simplest answer.
Oh, she's not wrong.
These have been stabbed in the neck, though, not bitten.
That's not to say, essentially, that some vampires don't use their teeth. But here,
maybe they have dentures.
But what brings you by today, Papa Shay?
I'd like to see if I can find a scroll that will help me speak with somebody who has passed.
Here. She gives you. She hands you a voodoo doll made of twigs and linen. So for- uh, call upon. Call upon Legsbud's name while holding this over a corpse, and this this doll will assist you in, as a medium in speaking with the dead for maybe about 2 to 3 times. I think that's all the power that I've invested in it, but it should help you.
You said call upon a leg bud?
Well, call upon your own Loa. It's like
Yeah.
We do not worship the same Loa Papache. I worship Samedi, the god, the Loa of the dead.
I will call upon my spirits when it comes time to ask the questions I need to find the answers to.
So effectively,
Thank
you have a fetish that can be used 3 times at this point. It's just like, but she's like, I asked for you from you a spirit token in kind. That I may give it to Papa Legba. I may give it to Baron Samedi.
Ooh. I will take. This is a big thing that she's giving me. I am going to take a small lock off of one of my dreadlocks and cut it off and give it to her.
A piece of your person, then. It's like that. I find that acceptable.
Yeah, I don't give this easy, but you've given me a gift that might solve many, many crimes. And something's terrible going to happen to me later.
Our Papache will. I simply take these as tokens of favor, and only basically do harm to those who would basically break their deals with me.
Right. I don't plan on breaking any deals because what you can do.
I know that Papache, you're a wise man. She slaps you on the shoulder and chuckles like, and you're going, that doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel good.
No. All right, I'm gonna head back. I guess probably while they were still questioning the sergeants, I'll head back.
So Papache is like, yeah. There's a small Caribbean community over in South Ward, sort of like the further southern part of South Ward, just before you exit the city. How they got there, why they're there, you've never quite been able to figure out. Essentially, it's like you yourself are sort of an immigrant from the Caribbean yourself, but you've never understood why exactly all the Caribbeans are there. Maybe that's a question for another time. All right, you head back to the morgue at this point, and call back your compatriots who are taking their ease at a bar, a tavern next door called the Speckled Cock. You shake your fetish over the. Which one do you want to basically question, essentially?
So what I want to find is I want to see if any of them might have actually been stabbed from the front. I know that's
okay. So you basically say, would it be all right if we gather together all 4 of their corpses closer together? It's like, as you okay. So you effectively just use up all 3 charges out of the fetish in one shot, and I'll just allow you to ask questions of any of the 4. So, then
okay.
There's a blinking of the gas lights and a shuddering of the corpses as their tables basically begin to rattle as you hear the rattling of bones in that sort of comes to a steeper, more crescendo, and then you hear this creaking voice coming from dead windpipes like, Ma? It's like, oh, I'm late, I must get home. It's like, I need to get to the bar. It's like, and then the young black woman is like, I wonder what I should get flowers. Definitely flowers. Essentially, I think Johnny is going to propose to me tonight, as they all say something associated with the last thing they were doing before they died.
While I am doing this, I would like to use the encode thoughts cantrip and just like be caught being down what I'm picking up while I'm doing it.
Okay, so that's fine. You're just sort of like encoding everything as they say it, so perfectly fine.
Spirits, I beseech thee, tell me, did any of you see your killer?
Right.
As I try to draw them back to knowing what happened, and I'm sure there's lots of, wait, I'm dead? Ah!
She's like, there was a handsome Johnny. This is the young black woman speaking. There was a handsome Johnny on this with a cute piped purple hat. She's like, he had such beautiful eyes, like brown with a hint of red, and he smiled at me, and I smiled back, and then I felt a sharp pain in my neck, and that was, and then blackness came over me, and then the workerman goes, I didn't see anything. It's like felt a sharp stab in my neck from behind, and the last thing I saw basically was a shiny pair of like thigh-high boots, and then I was then blackness came over me. The little girl was like, this man with this woman with beautiful reddish brown eyes came up to me, sleek black hair and a small purple fascinator and a nice satin dress. She brought some. She was kind. She brought some flowers for me, and when she leaned down to whisper in my ear, that is all I remember. And then the sort of clerk. All I remember is like Mr. Davenport came to me that evening, essentially. A handsome sort, pale, with reddish golden eyes. Now that I think about it, now that my fellow dead have spoken, it's like Mr. Davenport always wore a purple hat himself. And he goes to describe Mr. Davenport for you. So you get the description of like 3 different people. Sort of a kind-looking woman, essentially, that sort of wears a small purple, like one of those fascinator hats that you sort of stick on the side of your head. And then 2 gentlemen, essentially, one younger that the young black woman saw, and then one older Mr. Davenport that just like is a client of the accounting firm of Kershaw and Kershaw.
Okay.
So they all mentioned that their eyes had reddish in whatever color it was.
And whatever color their eyes were, they had a reddish tinge to them.
Right. And then they also had a purple hat, all 3 of them. That was, and they were all handsome or
they're handsome,
pretty.
beautiful, and pale.
Okay.
Ooh, it's making me nervous because I also wear a lot of purple.
But now you have actually a business and a actual name. Kershaw and Kershaw, is an accounting firm on the north end of South Ward that generally works with the sledges. So they do the accounting for the coal trade to the north. They're one of the few, basically. They're one of the few people, the sort of money lenders reputable money lenders in South Ward. So the clerk is a clerk in Kershaw and Kershaw, and Davenport is one of their clients.
Oh, I'm gonna ask all of them their names.
All right.
Oh, good plan.
And
That's
give that
good.
to the cops.
All right. So you eventually check the names against the 30 list you have. It eventually matches up to like their 4 names are on the list of 30 people that have been reported missing. So at least you have the names of the next of kin that was asking about them at this point.
Yeah. so we can make sure they at least get informed. But I think we need to go find Mr. Davenport
Okay.
because
Let us find him.
he is in trouble.
All right. You also have the locations of where talking to Lagos. Talking to Beat Cop Lagos, he's going, well, he's giving you the locations of where he found the bodies at this point. So those you can certainly ask around those locations as well. So you head over to the offices of Kershaw and Kershaw at this point. It's a good, since you're roughly at the, since you've had to go pretty much to the south of Southward and all the way up to the north end of Southward at this point, and everywhere in between, you're pretty much used up like 80% of the day at this point.
Yeah.
So it is late afternoon, bordering on dusk by the time you reach the offices of Kershaw and Kershaw. They seem to be tidying up and getting ready to leave. As you can see, dozens of clerks, like easily like 20 different clerks. Some women, some men, almost all of them human. Busy like cleaning up their desks, removing ink stain, like dropped ink essentially off their desk with sand, and there's a officious looking clerk at the front in a sort of like a high raised desk. It's like, welcome to the offices of Kershaw and Kershaw. Do you require financial assistance? We offer bookkeeping and money lending.
Can I cast Detect Good and Evil? See if any of them are vampires.
Around the room with the tech, you can sense that there's a what appears to be there's some sort of like automaton or animated security thing like sitting in a closet just in the back, essentially. So which makes some amount of sense considering they're effectively a bank for all intents and purposes. So there's a security golem back there.
But I can't sense anything like a vampire or anything like that.
No, as far as supernatural like beings, no one in here is particularly supernatural.
Is anybody wearing purple?
In the grand scheme of things, among 20 plus people, yes, there are people wearing purple.
Keeping an eye out for anybody with purple.
Yeah, but you don't see anybody with particularly pale skin or golden eyes, golden or red eyes. So you're going, okay, well, these are the clerks are not the people we're looking for. All of them look like haunted individuals that don't get enough sleep and work way too long hours because all of them are little dots and they have like circles.
Do you think that we can tell them that we would like to pick up some business with Mr. Davenport and find out if they have any contact information, like an address for him?
Sorry, we cannot reveal any information about our clients. If you would like to discuss this, perhaps you could talk to either of the senior partners, the two brothers Kershaw. They are actually in their office. Let me see if they're available. As the clerk wait here, please.
Okay.
As the clerk heads off to the Kershaw's office, it's like, you're in luck. Essentially, they don't have anybody on their schedule this late in the afternoon. But be quick. We're gonna be closing in the next 15 minutes. And the Kershaws do like to head home on a punctual schedule. So you head on into the Kershaw's office. There's two individuals, both wearing powdered wigs, and they're apparently it's in fashion to basically have beards this season. So it sort of goes in and out of fashion, but they both have basically trimmed beards that are well oiled and groomed to their faces, just barely half an inch in length. They two middle-aged human gentlemen look at you with their white powdered wigs and nobles' tails as they are both sitting like a pair of sphinxes on the far side of a large mahogany desk. It's like their desk is, unlike the sergeant's, is pristine and clean, and there's an in and out folio, essentially, basket. The in completely empty, the out completely full. as they seem to be like mirror images of each other on either side of the desk. It's like they sort of both finish stamping a document at the same time and putting it into the out basket, and they look at you intently. Well, you don't look like our normal clientele here. It's like, and you don't seem to be part of the coal trade, given that you aren't covered in coal dust. So what brings you by our offices today?
I think Dirk is going to use his telepathy on Krishana and ask if we should just flash our private eye stuff and say that we're helping the police, or do we want to pretend to be customers?
That's up to you. I
Your
don't know,
private
sweetie.
badge does give you some law enforcement powers. Essentially, it's like it's normally in regards to looking after like adultery cases, but it's like it does give you some police powers. So it's like,
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe we should go ahead and do that. They seem pretty savvy, and what we really want is the information about Mr. Anderson, right? So let's try that, and I can flash some photos of the.
I forget the name of the guy, but I'm gonna be like, have you two seen so and so lately?
Mr. Davenport.
No, not Davenport. Oh, I want to ask about the clerk first.
yes, Clemens has not been into work for the past 3 days. Essentially, if he does not show up by the end of the week, we're going to have to assume he's sought other employment.
He won't be
So
sure.
why do you ask?
We identified his body.
We're
in
on
the
a
morgue.
case.
Oh, I see. So he's gone and become one of the missing, I see. All right. Well, he had no next of kin, so that I assume would be the end of that. Is there anything else that I could do for you?
Did he have as one of his clients a Davenport?
Yes, he did have a client named Mr. Davenport, but Clemens had many clients, essentially, at least 24. May I ask this, if you are looking into Clemens' death, I ask that you not bother, essentially. He has no next of kin, essentially, that would be interested, that could mourn him. And Kershaw is not interested in paying for the investigation.
That's quite understandable. You don't have to pay, but we do have a large number of people missing. And so any clues from Clemens may help save other people and resolve what happened to the other 30 people.
30, you say? That is
Yes.
quite a large number.
Yes, the
This
police.
has not affected the business of Kershaw and Kershaw so far, but I guess such a large number of missing people is of concern. As they sort of switch between one Kershaw speaks and another Kershaw speaks, it's like you're guessing they're brothers. They're definitely not twins. But it's like that.
So I'm sure that you would like this to be resolved quietly and completely so that the name of your firm doesn't come up. So any help that you can give us to do that would be much appreciated.
Well, I am willing to give you information on Kevin Davenport, but it must never come to light. Essentially, you got this information from Kershaw and Kershaw.
Oh, of course not.
Can we come to that agreement?
Absolutely. Confidentiality is our hallmark.
I found this in the trash can. I don't know what you're talking about, Kershaw and
Why?
Kershaw.
One of the Kershaw brothers scribbles down. It's like, this is Mr. Davenport's personal address. Essentially, he stays in an apartment in Northampton, so i.e. the wealthy side of town. He hands you a slip of paper. This is his address. This is his business, and it's like Imperial Exports.
Okay. Yeah.
This is the information we have on Mr. Davenport. So,
Do you have any, like, can we get a full, I want to try to get, like, a full workup, so if he's got any debts or anything, we can use that as leverage.
fortunately, I definitely am not willing to share his financial situation with you. If we did that, that would be too far a breach of a trust.
So Dirk's going to use telepathy to Krishana and Papa Shay and ask if we want to know the address for the clerk to see if there might be any clues at his house? Or if it seems to have, if it wasn't happening at home, if we shouldn't bother? What do you think?
If they're willing to give that to us, we
Yeah, might as well.
might be
Yeah.
able to get that from the sheriff.
Okay, let's go ahead.
Okay, so you get Clement's address as well. It's like, well, considering he's dead, I see no harm in it. As one of the Clement's brothers writes down Clement's address for you.
Do you guys have any questions? I think that would wrap it up, right? Maybe.
Okay.
Watch out for handsome people in purple hats.
With pale skin.
Well, that sort of describes Kevin Davenport to a T, but I've not met the rest of the Davenports. Maybe they are all equally pale and handsome, as you say. So, good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. As they both sort of give you the curt, you are dismissed, and as you head out the door.
Hey guys,
You
I
can
got two
see
things.
everybody else in the building at this point is basically heading out the door, and they likewise try to shuffle you guys out the front. At this point, it's like the gray fog has really settled in at this point, and it's just like it's almost pitch black on the street, even though it's just dusk at this point. You're going. Those of you who live in Southward know that this is a dangerous hour to be out and about, essentially, and you should head home as quickly as possible.
Should we look through the trash first, or should we go home immediately?
And we can go. Are we close to my shop, Lawrence?
Sure, we can say well, technically, we're going to say your shop is over in Caribbean Town, which is the south end of the Southward. So you're quite a ways away from home at the moment.
All right, never mind then.
Okay.
Yeah, let's find a place to spend the night because we don't want to die.
No.
That wouldn't be
Okay.
helpful.
Well, basically they're just sort of like roaming gangs once it gets dark, and it's like running into them is always bad news.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why all these people are interested in getting out of here, out of their work as soon as possible, and getting back wherever they're before they start really running into the gangs of South Ward.
There would probably
Alright.
be a room at my.
Should we all go head home then, Yuli?
Hard to hear you, Charlie.
There would probably be enough room in my shop / place for.
Okay, and so you want to all retire to the tavern next to Charlie's shop. That's perfectly fine. As you discuss your next moves, so you're. So you all retire to the dog and whistle next to Charlie's shop. They have a lovely brown ale, and the food isn't half bad either. As you're all discussing what to do next.
Well, do we want to? I say we go scout out this guy's place. If there's a whole bunch
that's in
of them.
Northampton. You could start heading over there that evening. So if you want to cross the bridge out of South Ward, Northampton is an orderly and well-regulated place. So you're not going to have to worry about getting assaulted by gangs in the street. So.
We might do well to sort of stake out his house and see if there's any coming and going. Do we have any sense of whether these people were killed at night or during the day? It sounds like it was during the day, right?
Being killed during the night, or like close to the night. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
And when you ask them with Speak with Dead, that's what they respond with. So.
Okay, so yeah, sounds like we need to be watching his house at night and see if he's going out or coming in.
It's in part of town. You can just head over there and take a look. Let's put it that way. So you finish up dinner. You spend a couple silvers and finish up dinner and start heading over that general direction. It's roughly about 45 minutes walk to get over to the Davenport residence. Imperial Exports is actually on the north side of the Thames, on the Northampton side. So you're guessing it's probably has to do with international trade or something along those lines. So they import and export stuff into London. So you're debating amongst yourselves which way you go, which place you should go to first, either Imperial Exports or the Davenport Residence.
The Davenport residence. I'm tired.
Okay, well, the Davenport Residence is actually the further distance away, but you end up so you're slogged through the night. And eventually, like an hour later, you're at the Davenport Residence. You're definitely considering we should probably hire a Johnny cab, a black cab on the way back, because I really don't feel like walking all the way back at this point. You arrive at the Davenport Residence. It is it's sort of in a cul-de-sac of a street, sort of the furthest back house in the sort of end of a dead-end alley. It's a stately, like, 3-story brownstone that is maybe, the frontage is maybe about 40, 50 feet across, and you're guessing it sort of probably goes back about 60, 70 feet, so there's 3 stories of 40 by 60, effectively. There's lights on every level. You can see what are obviously multiple people, either servants or the Davenports themselves, going about their business, sort of silhouetted in the windows. Sometimes it looks like a maid. Sometimes it looks like someone drinking a sifter of brandy. Sometimes it looks like a woman drinking from a goblet of wine. You're having a hard time counting the exact number of people because you're just sort of looking at faint shadows cast across the windows at this point. You're going, but you're guessing there are at least 10 people in there.
I think we need to really scout this place out.
Okay, so the front, there aren't any alleyways access from the front, but there's obviously some alleyway behind this building. You actually can't access it from this side unless you climb directly over the top of the building. So you have to go back out probably to the main street and see if there's another way to get to the back of the building. Because, like all brownstones, it's just like house after house after house with no alleyways between them.
Does it look like we could get up on the roof of any of the other surrounding buildings so that we could be looking down on it?
And it is evening, so people are at home right now. So this is definitely not the time to be climbing up on top of people's like inhabited houses. Let's put it that way.
Probably not.
It's like, because even if you're a stealthy person, it's likely you're gonna make noise like clambering over their roof.
Hey, Dirk, how far does your telepathy work?
Oh, let's see. Sorry, I'm still getting used to this one.
Oh, you're good. Like, I also have some limited telepathy, but
I want to say it's 30 feet, but I will find out.
So I think I'm gonna go ahead and wild shape into a spider.
Okay.
A tiny spider.
Okay, so you crawl in through a vent, like up through an attic vent, and get inside the building. You can hear crystal clear conversations of it's like, well, dear, should we head out on our evening excursions? It's like, not yet. I would much prefer essentially much later at night. There's certainly been all sorts of disturbances at this point. It's like people are really beginning to notice the missing. It's like, well, dear, it's like head out. We should head out soon. Essentially, I'm beginning to get a little peckish. So.
Okay, and I checked, and Dirk has 30 feet.
Yes. Okay, so we'll just say Dirk basically scoots up to the edge of the front every so often and telepathically communicates with you and then scoots back in.
I'll be relaying as much as I can.
Okay. So you get that's the most suspicious conversation you hear out of them. Otherwise, they're discussing basically, well, it's like the shipment from India has recently come in. I think these spices will sell the curry will sell very well, and we should basically head out. We should discuss finances for the Golden Ocean expedition heading out in the next 2 weeks. And they just sort of start talking shop about their imperial exports. Most of which is basically, since you're not like a business person yourself, like generally goes over Papa Shay's head. It's just like they talk about basically finance rates and basically rate of return. It's like all of it is like it's all just business gobbledygook to you.
Hey, I tried to run my own business. I know a little bit of it, but yeah, this financial.
Yeah, but it's like you don't run a business based on debt and finance and insurance.
Right.
So it's just like the things they're discussing is just like I have no idea what the heck that means.
Oh, I wish I could cast spells while in this form. All right. What are they wearing?
They're wearing like high-end, basically lounge wear, effectively. So it's like,
But they're not wearing
like
the
smoking
purple
jackets
hats.
and robes, and so effectively what a wealthy Londonite might wear, basically while like traipsing around their house.
But you said it was purple.
Some of it is purple, yes. So they seem to favor purple because you could definitely see there's portraits of there's portraits of the whole family here that you eventually see peering through into a den on the third floor. There's a portrait of the whole family. There's Kevin Davenport himself, which is the elder Davenport, you're guessing. There's because you saw him downstairs and you saw him referred to as Kevin. There is Samantha Davenport, who is a beautiful young woman, and there's Eric Davenport, who you're guessing is a brother, and then there's a senior Davenport, who is he's this fierce looking old man, like of a British gentleman, essentially with a like lion's mane of curly like white hair, as like a beard that basically looks wild and out of control. But he's otherwise dressed up in like noble's finery, but the picture of him is shows him in an antique set of like armor that is like enameled black with all sorts of like gothic fluting on it. Essentially, it looks super out of place in like a Victorian England, but it's like it's also sort of the style to basically have your portraits painted in like a older Gothic style these days, so that might not be unusual, but just like the thing that sort of stands out is like he seems to be standing in a pose like he's like, I know how to use this lance and sword I'm holding. They're not props.
Now, that was my question that I was about to ask. You beat me to it.
I either sort of not like lying lightly on his like forearm. He's holding them as if he's gonna like stab somebody with them.
All right. I would like to do a quick like. I'm not gonna like try to get you to explain the whole house. I'm just gonna do a quick like cursory glance, see who all I can see, and then head back and fill everybody in.
The thing you quickly find out is there is a basement. There isn't a clean way to get to it through the eaves, however, where you're at the moment, i.e. the gaps in the walls. So you figure you do see a set of stairs heading down that general direction. So you're guessing it must be dug out of the bedrock rather than they dug out. So rather than digging a full basement and then building a floor above it, essentially, it must literally be just dug directly into the bedrock, and there may be like a cave or a wine cellar down there. Or something, but it's like there isn't any. You're quickly finding there isn't any clean way to get at it through the walls.
Okay, I just don't want to hog this whole session, so I'll come back instead of trying to go RP my way down there. I'll come back and I'll relay that information.
Okay.
Guys, I think they're gonna kill tonight.
Okay, so you get the impression from Samantha and Kevin's discussion that they're They will head out probably at 10 o'clock in the evening. So you got about 3-4 hours before that time.
Well,
Do
we
we
want to
know
be back.
their target at all?
No.
Other than that,
they're-
they're going to head out in the middle of the night, which is really already super strange for effectively well-to-do people, right? It's like, unless you're going to a party, why would you like go out into the night?
Yeah, people die unless you're doing the killing.
And the people that they were doing, like the little girl, they bought flowers. The woman bought flowers from her. So they may not decide who they're going to kill. They may be just opportunistic.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Okay, so I need stealth checks for everybody hanging out on the outside at this point. So
Uh-oh.
Okay, Dirk got a 17.
right, that's
I
good.
got my stealth is disadvantage.
Before or after I changed from being a spider?
Well, you don't have to roll a stealth check as Papa Shane because you're inside the building, right? No one can spot you in there.
Sweet.
So I got a. You ready for this?
Are we planning an ambush?
I got.
No, it's more along the lines: did you get spotted while you were like surveilling the house? Is like what's happening.
Yeah, I got spotted. It's a natural one.
Okay.
Oh.
Love it. Natural
I rolled-
one is just as fun.
I rolled an 18 and a 1.
Okay.
I have disadvantage because of my armor.
Okay, so the so Zumler is sort of like sounds like a one-man band every time he shifts because it's uncomfortable to like stand like stock still in a suit of plate mail for very long periods of time, especially when you're crouching behind a barrel. It's like he's like trying to make himself comfortable. It's just like there's sort of this like constant jingling happening from Zumler's general location as everybody is giving him dirty looks.
Shut up.
Okay, now I need perception checks from everybody.
Hey, if anyone wants to pitch in and buy me mithril armor, that'll be nice.
Oh, I rolled a 20. Like,
Oh.
maybe Dirk's going to change my luck. That's a 22.
So,
I
But I got
think
a
shit.
natural
okay, so
21.
Papa Shay and Dirk happen to be looking at up on the roof when they see these two like dark hooded individuals that look really familiar to those people who were ambushed before, just like apparate onto the roof as it's like they just suddenly appeared there. As those individuals start like peering down directly towards the alleyway where Zumler is basically adjusting himself as he's grabbing his cod piece and basically trying to put it in a comfortable location.
Can we tell him to look like he's peeing or like he just finished peeing and then have him walk around?
Yeah, that's what I was going to play.
Zumler, make a performance check to make it convincing, like, I needed to go take a whiz in an alleyway thing.
Okay, I have +2 to performance, so let's see how that goes. Unnatural 20.
Okay, very good. So you finish adjusting your cod piece and basically walk back onto the main street. It's like the two individuals that Dirk and Papa Shay see up on the roof. They seem to wink out of existence. It's like as if by some supernatural force, and they're going, Well, our would-be assassins are definitely not human. That, or they have some magical stealth ability.
Mhm. Would detect magic work on something like that, or is that just a native ability?
After the fact, probably not very useful.
Okay.
But from just a practical arcana standpoint, they either teleported there or they went invisible. So
Okay.
either they're really good at magically hiding themselves, or they teleported. So it's generally hard to tell which, because there's sort of like the incessant fog around this place basically is making everything look a little bit misty to begin with. So just like they could have gone invisible, or they're like have really superior stealth.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's effectively what you note at this point, but that's like now you're even more suspicious of them because you're sort of would-be assassins that attacked you on the ride home. Part of your group on the ride home is like those are them. Essentially, there's no mistaking them as this very self-same group.
We're in the right area.
You're in the right area at this point. Okay, so the other thing to check out if you're going to check out the Davenport mansion is you probably want to check the back alleyway at this point and see if there's other ways into the mansion other than the front. The front doesn't look like there's very good stealthy approaches from the front because there's like a front door and windows in the front and everything's lit. So the back alleyway is probably significantly less likely to be lit, and there might be a servant's entrance or service elevator back there.
Yeah, I'd be interested in listening in on the servants and see if what they notice about all of this too. So, can we tell like what the house number is, or would we like if we saw it from the back, would we be able to tell which one it was if we went around?
Yes, you will be able to tell which one it
Okay.
was. There's like it's the buildings are distinct enough from each other that you could figure out which it is. All right, you head back to the main street. Head back. It's not too hard to find the alleyway that basically adjoins the Davenport brownstone. You see a collection of servants out back. There's about 5 men playing some sort of dice game against the wall. They're all dressed in white and black, like servants' uniforms at this moment. They're taking a break to play some dice and smoke cigarettes. They're, Oi, you've got money, come and play. Otherwise, if you're looky-loos, just move on.
I'll play.
Ooh, can I pull the giant shadow of a spider that morphs into a human and walk up? Because that's such an awesome scene. I forget what I've seen that from, but
Oh, you
No, sorry.
basically sort of like wander as a spider and basically cast your shadow from a gas lamp until you become a human.
yes.
Okay. Everybody's a cat. All the like men basically freeze up for a second until they see it's
Just a man.
They're questioning exactly what they saw. It's like as they're going, come on and play. We don't mind black fellas basically coming and playing with us.
Dirk would be happy to play some dice.
It's like, there's a number of you. So it's like, equal opportunity. We're all willing to take anybody's money. Put your bet down. As they, you want to roll, or should one of us roll?
What are they betting? Like, what are the coins that I'm seeing drop?
So you're betting on pass, no pass, or calling the point, basically. So
Like, I don't want to drop a gold piece if they're, betting in
they're
copper.
obviously betting coppers and silver. So.
Yeah.
I think
I'll
we'll
I'll
start
throw
off
a
with
couple
that.
silver down.
Okay, it's like, big spender. It's like,
Right.
all right, the roll's yours, sir. Okay, so roll me 2d6 at this point. Well, we're gonna play actual craps, so you're gonna bet on the pass line at this point. All right. So since you didn't roll, since you didn't roll 7 or 11 on your come out roll, you don't immediately win your bet. So roll again, and you're looking to roll A6 before you roll A7. Okay, well, you lose your bet.
Darn.
Craps. Bad luck.
So, Dirk would like to try, and he's proficient in dice. That's part of
Okay,
his.
fair
rolling
enough.
thing.
So we'll allow you to make 2 rolls and take the better of the 2
Okay,
rolls.
and which one do we want to roll?
You're just rolling 2d6. We're actually playing craps. So.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So if you roll a 7 or 11 on your come out roll on craps, you win immediately. Otherwise, you set a point and you're trying to roll that number again before you roll a 7.
I'm trying to get it to roll in the game log, and it's not happening for me. So let me just 2d6. All right, that's a 9. Well, it's a 4 and a 5.
Well, it's a 9. Essentially, you always just add them together for craps.
Okay.
You need to roll a 9 before you roll a 7, essentially. So you just keep on rolling 2d6 until you either get a 9 or a 7.
Okay. So I got a 9, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
All right. Roll a d20 for general gambling skill to see if you want to bet on side bets that you can do as part of craps or not, because you know how to play craps.
Okay, I got a 12
Okay,
for
so
my luck check.
you bet another moderate amount on odds for like putting puts and calls on the side here, and it's like as the sort of broker, basically handler of monies, basically sets your bets. Okay, go ahead, miss. Go ahead, sir.
Okay,
All right, you win. You win back some silver at this point, and then keep on going.
okay.
So you're looking for 9 or 7.
Okay, you go ahead.
You got. Oh, am I rolling again?
Yeah.
Keep on rolling 2d6s until you either hit a 7 or a 9.
Woo! 7.
Okay. All right. So okay. So effectively, Dirk eventually comes out just slightly ahead. So you're maybe about 3 silver ahead at this point after the round is done, and just like you know your way around a set of dice. So I can't imagine essentially fine dressed individuals like yourself came here to play dice with us servants, though. What are you really here for? You're not quite sure which of these individuals actually belong to the Davenport estate versus the general people around, because the back servants' doors are open on all of the buildings here, essentially, and it's sort of direct access over to the kitchen. You don't none of you necessarily, unless you're particularly good con men, feel really good about just walking straight into any of these well-to-do individuals, people's houses. So,
I'm wondering if Dirk can hear like what they're thinking about and which ones might belong to the Davenport house.
okay, does your telepathy allow you to do that, or does it just allow you to speak to people telepathically?
Um, let me see what it says because that's a new thing for me. It's a ghost-wise halfling.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Never tried a ghost twice.
You can speak telepathically to any creature, and they understand you if you share a language, and you do one creature at a time. So I can't read thoughts, but I can speak to them.
Okay, so this allows you to speak silently to somebody, so effectively. Okay, so you can always try to spook somebody doing that. That's perfectly reasonable. But
that's exactly what I was thinking. Is that like whatever we decide to tell them, then Dirk is going to start leaning on a few people with some spooky stuff. Do we want to tell them we're private investigators, guys? Is that
when you're trying to find out from the servants, however? So you quickly find out which of them. So hey, which of these fine noble houses do you work for? Is like two of the guys out of the 6 know. Just like, yeah, we work for the Davenports. They're a fine family. It's like nothing. Pay us well, pay us on time. Not too particularly harsh, not too demanding. So I like working for them.
I cast Charm Person on those 2.
Okay. So we're just gonna say it works because I don't feel like making saves for effectively zero level NPCs. So all right, so they look at you with appreciation. Well, you're a fine gent, essentially. What I wouldn't mind telling you. It's like, what do you want to know about the Davenports? You're a fine lass, essentially. They seem enamored with you.
You're pretty.
Pretty.
She's gonna whisper to her party, "What should I ask them?"
If the Davenports ever ask them to do anything weird, like, let them in late at night because they've been out all night or something like that, like, do they do anything weird, Like, what's the weirdest thing they've ever had you do?
Oh, that's good.
What's weird about
You quickly realize they're under a stronger mind control than what you just applied to them, as they basically their eyes go blank and they basically start drooling out of the corner of their mouth. As you basically pull over one of the Davenport servants and start whispering sweet nothings in his ears, like, tell me about the Davenports, and his just eyes go blank and he starts drooling.
Oh my.
So they're going, oh, I think we definitely found who we were looking for. These people have mind control powers, and they mind controlled all their servants, not to reveal their secrets.
And now it's likely they know we are definitely onto them. Shit.
I guess we better move fast.
Yes.
Oh, What is
We
our next
need-
course of action?
Okay, so she's Krishana basically like shakes the guy awake and like shuffles him back to the craps game. It's like, oh, what were we talking about again, Miss? Essentially, you're awfully pretty. He sort of picks up where he was before, sort of flirting with you, as if you had never asked him about the Davenports before.
She will flirt back, but is obviously not interested.
She's like, well, like, I've lost interest. she sort of like is doing the oh shucks darn sort of thing. Is like, damn it, I thought I was getting lucky. See, okay, so you quickly get the impression it's like, well, they've mind controlled all their servants not to reveal their secrets, so I'm pretty sure this is them. Given that everybody else was mind controlled in the local area around the the crime scenes, this is definitely them now.
Y'all, I think we need to try to catch them when they leave and follow them.
Do we want to ask the servants if we could tell them that there's been problems with rodents in the basements in this area, and we wondered if they'd ever seen any down in their basement?
It's like,
That's so good.
No. Like all the servants go, no, not really. Essentially, the rat catchers come at least once a week and basically take care of it. So we have rodents because everything has rodents. The rats are everywhere.
Okay.
But when was the last time?
They don't have an infestation problem because the rat catcher comes once a week. So.
What about on the roof? Because I know some of these houses have like entrances where you can go up and be on top of the roof, and they're having problems up there too. Does this have roof access on this one?
The Davenport servants do offer this up essentially. Yeah, well, the Davenports actually don't have us go down into the wine cellar. There's lots of valuable wines down there. Maybe they don't really trust us with these valuable commodities, so they keep it locked up for the most part.
Okay.
So, i.e., the servants don't go down into the basement in the Davenport house.
Okay. Do they ever go up on the roof?
It's like, can't say that I have. Essentially, it's been a dog's age since we ever been sent up there to clean out the attic. So, can't say that I have ever been up there. When I heard tell, essentially, the senior butler has been up there once, but. Yeah, and the senior maid, but I've never been up there myself.
Which one is their trash can? Where do you dispose of their trash?
So they point over to a communal dumpster that all the houses sort of use in the back here. It's like, yeah, the skip is taken out into the Thames and dumped like maybe every 2 weeks. Getting a little full now. We're probably gonna call the garbage men. As you sort of you peer at it, it's like, all right, well, we got to be getting back to work. It's been fine chatting with you fine folks. Too bad we didn't win any money off you. As they head back to their individual houses, Krishana goes and pops open the skip, and it's just like, oh my god, this is fucking foul. It's just like, as is typical of any sort of garbage skip from London during this period of time, there's fatty, tarry grease from lanterns and cooking oil that's been gone bad, and as well as like old rags and linens that have been used to like wipe down things. So it's just like, it's just like a black, dirty mess of like linen and paper and trash and broken furniture and bits of wood. And just a lot of animal products that basically have all gone rancid in a like goopy pile in the bottom of this thing. It's like, ugh.
So Dirk would like to use Mage Hand to sort of pull around in there and see if there's anything interesting without actually having to touch anything.
Okay, so right, roll a con save.
Okay. That's a 10.
Okay. Dirk immediately regrets this as he's like as Dirk disturbs the top layer, and it's like the maggot races. So these little maggots gonna run everywhere. It's like, as you throw up a little in the back of your mouth. And the smell is just wretched as you basically scoop your magical hand through this goop. The roll a what is it? Investigation check.
Okay.
You're gonna need to wash that hand later.
Can I aid her?
You also have mage hand?
No, but I was trying to look at the trash for
You're
stuff.
just sort of looking at the trash. I need a con save for you as well.
Okay, and I got an investigation 14.
Okay. So you scrape through the prevailing muck and maggots, and eventually pull out. It's like it takes you a while. Krishana basically like takes a good deep whiff of basically rotten fat, and it's like, and then eventually starts violently vomiting over the next to a wall. It's like,
Oh, so sorry. It is really awful, isn't it?
yes. Eventually Dirk, after maybe about 30 minutes of like pouring through the muck, eventually pulls out what appears to be like a human forearm, essentially, like where most of the flesh has been dissolved off
From the maggots.
from the maggots. Yes.
Does it have any rings?
It does not have any rings, but it definitely belongs to a youngish person, so it's like not an adult, to be sure. That, or it could be from a small person like a halfling or a gnome or something, but it's definitely a child's forearm.
Well, that's something you don't see every day. How does it? Can we tell like how it was dismembered? If it was chopped or pulled off?
So, it looks like it's been torn off at the elbow. Essentially, the remaining bits of flesh are like very sparse, but you can definitely tell it's not like a clean chop, like somebody used a cleaver or something. It's just like it's all ragged around the edges, and all the basically cartilage and bone and tendon is all torn up as if it was just sort of like wrenched off.
Somebody went Wookiee on a child.
Yes.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Would that
Thank
be
you
a
for describing
natural
that to me once.
strength roll?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
To pull an arm out of a socket, like a normal person wouldn't be able to do that easily.
No, essentially, a normal person would not be able to like tear the forearm off a person. No.
We aren't dealing with normal people. That is for sure.
That's assuming this is connected to what we're looking into.
Yeah, it could
I
just
think
be. It could be something else. I mean, none of the other corpses.
Clues point to the Davenports being like very like viable culprits. They can mesmerize people. They can. They meet the descriptions of everybody involved. They are going to go out like late at night. So.
Yeah, it may be something additional that they're doing because none of the corpses that we saw had any damages other than the stab and the missing blood. And this looks, and they weren't thrown into the trash. Can Dirk like root around there with Mage Hand and see if there's any other parts to this person?
That is the only part you find, effectively.
Okay.
It's like, because it's a large skip and you're going, okay, I'm like, I already spent 30 minutes on this and I already feel like ill. I already feel.
Yeah.
What do you say, guys, that we go ahead and try to catch them going out tonight?
Okay.
Or do you want to wait till we
So
get
if
rat?
I thought they already left.
No, they have
not
not. It's not. They don't leave till 10 in the 10.
Oh, okay. So they went up on the roof and they vanished. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. You go and find a tavern roughly a block away. There isn't anything directly on the street involved because this is a residential street for well-to-do people, so there is not a tavern. You sort of round the corner and find the ghostly coach. This sort of black. It looks like a Johnny Cab, except the placard out front basically has like a headless ghostly horseman, essentially, with a sort of whipping his coach at basically skeletal horses. You enter in and basically you see a whole bunch of dark clothing workermen all turn up from their beers and look at you with silent stares. There's no music playing. There's sort of like a gaunt, pale-looking woman, like rubbing this sort of like extremely bright pewter mug as if she'd been rubbing the same pewter mug forever and has never put liquid into this thing because that would normally tarnish it. It's like all of them basically are looking up for their meals at you, like about a dozen of them.
Krishana's going to try and set up to play.
The mistress of the tavern is sort of looking at you. This establishment is for servants of the fine folks of Northward. I don't think you belong here.
I would like to walk up to the bartender lady that was just talking. I'm going to hand her 10 gold and say, this is for a round. And he just wants.
Well, of course, basically, you are fine, basically, ladies and gentlemen, basically, of the London Knights. Please take a seat, and I will serve you. As soon as you drop 10 gold on the table.
This is for the bard to play for us, because she would like to play.
Of course, be our guest. There's everybody, like a dozen like workermen, basically just like stare at you with silent stares because they don't look very happy.
And I assume that gold is enough to give everybody a round on the bard, right?
Oh yes, of course. So she, the inn mistress seems to be very happy to be here. The rest of everybody else seems to be not happy. She sits you down at a large table, and because there's multiple open tables, because a dozen people is nowhere near the full capacity of this bar. She pulls out some tankards and pours you all a long draw of ale out of a pitcher. Draws a pitcher of ale basically out of a sort of deep bucket and starts pouring you all a very flat, some very flat ale. It is warm, as is typical of London ale. And it's just like, this is wretched. But that's what people are used to drinking around here. And she brings you some like dark bread and butter and a large sausage roll that she basically cuts a couple slices off of and places at the table. It's like, eat up. This is about the best you're gonna find around here. At least we don't get many visitors here to the North Ward, especially from the South Ward. So what brings you fine ladies and lasses here?
Just want to ask real quick. We're cool with Squirtle listening in, right?
Oh yeah, I don't see why not.
No.
All right.
Yeah, Squirrel's fine. He can join and listen in. That's fine. So tell me, what brings you fine lads and lassies here this evening?
Sure.
It's like, sorry, we don't got wine. We're working folks' establishment. Wine is for nobles.
So I'm trying to make it so Papa Shay doesn't like to talk that much. I'm gonna look at Charlie and be like, Charlie, would you like to tell her what we're up to? looking for a nice place to stay, right?
Well, my fine feline friend, we do have rooms up above. Essentially, the 10 gold you paid is more than enough to cover all of you for the evening, if that's what you want.
Yes. I look at the rest of the group.
But you
trying to
haven't answered my question. What brings you, fine lads and lassies, to my smart establishment?
I'm here to play, and she'll immediately start playing her viol.
Okay, roll performance at disadvantage. You have a tough crowd in front of you at the moment.
Can I would like to give bardic inspiration. Can I do that? That'd be
Sure.
1d6.
Sure. Okay, so Granada, give me a performance check.
Okay, so that's a 21.
I got 14.
14, and then roll an extra d6 in there.
That was with the d6.
Okay.
That was with the d6. Okay, so is Dirk also a bard?
Dirk is also a bard and a rogue.
Okay, so the two of you are... Okay, so
So
what
perhaps
instruments do you guys play, by the way?
let's see. Dirk has bagpipes, a dulcimer, and a lute.
All right.
So would you like a background accompaniment?
I got a lie, lute, and drum
Okay, so
in viol.
all right, so you play a duet essentially using your viol and mandolins and the
Okay, Dirk rolled a 21 performance check, so that helps, right?
So I'm just saying, eventually it's a disadvantage for both of you because it's like your crowd does not want you to be here. Okay, so did you both roll at disadvantage?
Oh, okay. I will.
Yeah, that was with disadvantage with inspiration.
Okay, got it. So assume you give inspiration to each other, so you both have an extra d6.
Okay.
Operator's thinking.
So that's a 12 for Dirk.
All right, there's basically some sporadic like golf claps. You're going. Now we played pretty decently. What the heck is wrong with this group? Essentially, it's but the rest of the group can't see this, but you guys from the stage can definitely see it looking into these people's eyes. There's a red glint to all of their eyes. It's like momentary and basically goes away when you sort of like, you have to really squint to see it, but you can see a weird sort of like supernatural weird red glint to all 12 of these individuals' eyes every so often when the light just catches the edge of their eyes just at the right angle.
Got it. So I'm
Noticing that, she's gonna try and play badly and see if it aggravates it.
Some of the men stand up. It's like they're all gaunt, like really gaunt. It's like you can see bones around their wrists. You can see that their faces are like drawn down. You didn't notice this before, but now that they're standing, essentially, it's like the light of the inn sort of casts harsh shadows across their face. I think you all should leave.
their bones around their wrist.
You can see the bones around their wrist, like the individual bones around their wrists. Their faces are gaunt and drawn to their skin is drawn to their skull as if basically they've not eaten for days.
Oh, so they've just been eating, but it looks like they're not actually eating it. Oh, okay.
There is something wrong with these individuals. It's like as they basically sort of gnash their teeth, and you get this feeling like a predator is like licking their lips, waiting to feed.
I'm thinking, guys, so I'm going to poll with telepathy and think that maybe we should head upstairs to the rooms for a little bit. How close is it to 10 o'clock?
It's only been about an hour so far. You still need got
Okay.
2 hours to go at this
Okay.
point.
So we can go
But
upstairs.
before-
Go ahead.
as you start retiring to go upstairs, like the you all head upstairs and get into. You all shuffle into one of the 2 rooms you rented at this point.
Do any of them have windows?
Yes, the room you have. Both rooms have windows out to a back alley.
Oh, okay. So we won't be able to see out onto the street towards the Davenports, right? Okay.
Just like popping out the window is a possibility. It's maybe about 15 feet to the ground, but it's like might sprain an ankle, but no one's gonna die from that. Okay, then the other, but you don't necessarily get that far because like you're sort of beginning to discuss. Okay, well, we just we've got about 2 hours to kill at this point. Like I definitely didn't want to start a fight. Stay downstairs and start a fight, but it's like I guess we should be safe enough up here. And with those prophetic words, essentially, the door to the room basically burst in as numerous gaunt, black-clothed servants. Their nails having grown into long talons, their teeth having grown into fangs, and their jaws sort of have unhinged from their lower half of their skulls into like gaping maws. As all of you go, ghouls!
Yeah. Papa Shag grabs his little club and casts Shillelagh on it.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna roll initiative at this point. As all dozen people from downstairs are like rushing into pouring into your room at this point.
Oh, okay. Dirk's got a 13.
Are we all in the same room then?
11
So
initiative.
you're all in the same room. You were doing your quick, basically. Okay, let's plan what to do next, and then all hell breaks loose.
I got a 19.
Way to go.
Okay,
Nice.
so Zoomler, you're gonna go first. So what are you doing?
Let's see. Do I have any spells that could block them at the door?
Well, what is it? You are a devotion paladin, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you have turn undead. These guys are obviously undead. That's why there is no doubt that they are undead at this point.
So yeah, I'll use a turn undead on them.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 7 of the 12 remain. 5 of them go like shriek and withdraw from the door and begin running back down the stairwell. Okay, that was Zoomler. And did anybody else beat 15?
No.
All right, the rest of the 7 come rushing into the room
Oh, jeez.
as they shove past Zoomler as he's basically trying to hold them to the door, and like Zoomler goes tumbling down as like 7 ghouls like pile over him basically in a undead wave.
Well, shit.
Well, actually, roll an athletic check. You're unlikely to make it, but you might roll a 20. You might roll.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Athletics. Oh, yeah, plus 4 to that, so let's see. Unnatural 20?
Okay, so they rush over you basically in a undead wave. So because they got 26 total because there's a
Oh, okay.
lot.
Yeah, there was no way I was going to make it.
Okay. I'm saying if you rolled a 20, you would have made it, but otherwise, no. Okay. All right. So the undead come rushing into the room, claws and fangs swinging. Let's see here. So as everybody got at least one of them like on them, trying to bite their face off. Okay. Here. Charlie, what is your AC?
My AC is 16.
16. Okay, so Charlie, get hit twice for a total of 11 damage, and I need a con save.
Oh, God.
Ow.
James, you get hit for 6 points of damage. Krishana is missed. Let's see here. Zumler is missed. Let's see. And Tree, you get hit for 12 points of damage on a con save.
Okay.
Is it anybody that gets hit has a con save?
No, you actually have to get hit by both claws to possibly get paralyzed. Let's put it that way.
Gotcha.
Okay, I got a 20 on my con save.
Yeah,
so-
DC is 13, so you're both fine. You do not get paralyzed by the ghouls. All right, so both of you, both Dirk and Charlie, see their whole life flash before their eyes for a split second as they envision their throat getting torn out by a ghoul, and then they basically come to their senses again. All right, and then we'll just start with Charlie on down. Charlie, what are you doing?
I am gonna stab whatever in front of me.
Okay, go right ahead.
22 to hit. That is 6 damage.
Okay. Okay, let's see here. All right, you stab it.
That's it. That's all
I can't remember. Don't you have like attack cantrips as an artificer or no?
I probably do, but I forgot about them.
Okay. Well, they probably do the same damage at this point as a dagger, anyways. But I'm just asking for reference sake. Okay. So you drive your dagger into it and grind it around a bit. It's like it's still there, unfortunately. But Shay.
I'm gonna try to cudgel one.
Okay.
Just smack it. Oh, jeez. 11.
All right. It's basically got your arm with the club in it. It is like pinning it up against the wall, and you're not able to take your swing. All right. Krishana.
I am going to cast Bane on 3 of them.
All right.
Nice.
All right. We'll just say it takes hold. Like, moving on. All right. Zumlar.
And I'm going to try and hide.
Okay.
Well,
Well, there's
okay,
no
wait.
hiding in a 10, there's no hiding in a 10 by 10 room. Let's put it that way.
Dirk will need to go too. And I'm thinking this is way too
Oh, I'm sorry,
close.
Dirk, yes.
Yeah, it's way too close for crossbow, so he'll just use a dagger. And that's a 20 to hit.
Okay, it hits. So they have AC 14. So,
Okay, so that's 4 damage.
all right, go ahead and give me your sneak attack damage for rogue because everything is engaged with everything else. Let's put it that way.
Okay, yeah. D6. I'm not sure how to roll that in there. So that's another 4, so that'd be 10 damage.
Okay, so you're like slamming your dagger into this thing, and it stops moving as it's basically got emaciated form. Like the undead red light goes out of its eyes. Okay, let's see, Zumler, you're up.
Let's see. I could cast Turn Undead one more time.
Okay, well, you cannot turn undead on the same group twice, unfortunately.
Oh,
So you get what you get from the first application. So
cool. Okay. I can do it more than once. I will swing my sword, trying to cut off their heads.
okay, so part of the things you can do as a devotion paladin is you can enchant your blade essentially with one of your using your divine inspiration. So do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, your blade begins to glow with holy light, and you do an extra D4 of damage.
Nice.
Nifty.
So that is a 21 to hit.
Okay, you hit. They have 14 AC, so roll me D8 plus D4 plus your strength bonus.
That's max damage.
All right. One of the ghouls explodes as its vaguely glowing bits of undead go flying all over the room. Okay, now the ghouls act. Let's see, there is, I think, 5 of them left. All right. Let's see. Charlie, that is a miss. Papache, that is a miss. Let's see, Krishana, a ghoul manages to bite you straight in the face, i.e. criticals, and has its claws dug into your shoulder for a total of 16 points of damage. And I need a con save.
Ouch.
Do they get advantage to the con save?
I got a 15 con save.
Okay, so you're not paralyzed. Okay, so it definitely has its biting you straight in the face. However, all right, Zimler, you take 7 points of claw damage, and Dirk, you take 6 points of claw damage.
Okay.
All right, nobody else basically has to make paralyzation checks. So okay, so their numbers are getting to thin, but they are definitely taking their toll on you. Charlie.
I do stab with my flame blade, so. Shoot.
Okay, your green flame blade goes up, and go ahead and roll to hit.
That does not hit.
That does not hit. Okay, you take a wide looping swing with your dagger and do not manage to connect with the ghoul. Papache.
Papache says, "Get off my arm!" and tries to smack.
All right,
17.
No problem. So give me your, I think it's a D8 plus
D8 plus
some
4.
bonus. Yeah. All right,
So
you
8.
smack it and it shatters into pieces as your divine energies in your club cause it to shatter. Krishana.
Nasty beastie.
All right, you stab it again at this point, and then another ghoul falls to your blade, and then Dirk.
Dirk's was a 20 to hit and 6 damage and then 6 stealth, so 12 damage.
Okay. All right, their numbers have winnowed significantly as there's only 2 left. All right, Zimler.
Fire.
Oh, Krishana, I guess you. Okay, I must have applied Dirk's damage to Krishana. So, Krishana, what are you doing?
Well, yeah. Can my Eldritch Blast be Dirk's damage, and then I'll cast Healing Light on me?
Okay. Well, I'm assuming you're gonna have to do one or the other.
Okay. Yeah. I guess the damage.
Okay. Fair
Sorry, I was just rolling because I was trying not to be that person that was lagging.
It still means basically you're down to only 2 goals. So, all right. So let's see here. We're back up to Zimler at the top of the round.
I want to take out another ghoul.
Okay, roll to hit.
Natural 20.
All right, boom! It explodes.
I was going to say it dies.
They only have 10 hit points, so you're easily going to do that with a crit. Okay, boom! Exploding ghoul all over the place. And then the remaining ghoul, because they're undead, will just continue to attack. All right, let's see. We'll just pick randomly who this happens to be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 of these. Okay, it's Papache. Of course, it's Papache. All right, so Papache, you take an additional 6 points of damage as the ghoul digs its claw deeper into your shoulder.
Oh.
Okay, Charlie, you're up.
Sorry. I do more stab.
Stab. All right. So roll your D4 plus your Dex plus green flame blade.
So that is 7 plus the 2 for my green flame blade. 9 damage.
Oh, never mind. At this level, it doesn't do any extra damage. It strikes one of the corpses of the other ghouls with a blop of fire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a total of 9 damage. We'll call that close enough. Essentially, I don't feel like keeping a ghoul around at 1 hit point. So, all right, you stab it, and the green flame burns through its eyes as its skull becomes hollow sockets, and its skeletal head falls off its shoulders. There is silence in the room as you can until you hear the screeching and scraping of ghouls at the bottom of the stairwell. Come, our masters call for your flesh and bones. It's like,
I'm gonna hit myself with a cure light while I'm waiting.
So is this the other 5 that were
this is the other
turned?
5 at the bottom of the stairwell that got turned. So,
Yeah, I think
I'm almost dead. We're chilling.
I can cast a few more cure wounds. I'll hit anybody who looks bad.
okay. Well, you technically have 6 more rounds before the rest of the ghouls come charging back up the hallway, or you can get out of here. Either way is fine, right? So,
Hey, that stairwell, is it a 5-foot wide stairwell, or is it like wider than that? Is
it
it
is
like a normal?
like 5-foot wide stairwell, like single flight down to the common room.
How about when they're on the stairs, I just hit the stairs with a moonbeam and shoot a moonbeam through all of them?
I'm fine with that. I'll go ahead and make a roll save for them.
sweet.
That's terrible damage.
Okay. Close enough. It'll drive the rest of them away, though. So it's like only one of them survives the initial. I guess they all survive the initial blast, but even if they don't save. Okay, but you scorch them all with your moonbeam as you rake it down the flight of stairs. They hiss at you, and it's like, "We'll be back," as they all flee out the front of the inn.
And these are the
As you
guys
head down to the bottom floor and are looking for the inn mistress, she's nowhere to be seen.
When we were up on the stage, we didn't see her looking all gaunt and bony. It was just the 12 guys.
Well, essentially, you could not take your eyes off the clientele. You did not.
Oh.
At some point or another, you lost track of the innkeep, and she is nowhere to be seen at the moment.
Okay.
My whole
step
body.
behind the bar and see if she was hiding any good stuff.
You're hoping to see like a cash drawer or something, but there isn't any. There's just sort of like the stale bucket of beer and a very shiny pewter mug that has been never had anything poured in it. You're guessing.
I'm taking that pewter mug.
Okay, there you go.
Do we have enough? Okay. Well, I was.
You eventually go to the back kitchen and see who goes to the back kitchen first.
I'm down to 6 hit. Dara is down to 6 hit points, so he's probably not going to go first.
You heal up before you head down there, right? At this point, you have a couple minutes to heal yourself. So cast whatever healing you're going to do, but now. But who actually goes to check the back kitchen first?
I have 4 hit points.
Okay.
So, I was going to ask if we had enough time for a short rest, but it sounds like they're coming back. Is that the...
Probably do not want a short rest here because the ghouls have now escaped and probably are warning their masters.
Okay.
So this is not a safe place to go take a siesta. Let's put it.
Yeah, and we don't have our cleric with us tonight, so.
All right, I'm just gonna go down the line real quick. Charlie, here's some health for you. There's 9. Krishana, sorry, you only got 5. And Tree, sorry, you also only got 5.
Hey, it helps.
Okay. And then Zumler has 15 lay on hands that he can pass out to the team if he wants to.
That is true.
So it's still bad.
So I'm going to use
Thanks, James.
set it up for myself to get myself back up to full health.
Okay.
And then anyone else still down?
Yeah, I'm down. I'm less than half.
Take the rest of Take 8 back
Okay.
from the lay on hands.
Well, I think wasn't somebody down to 4 points at one point? So
I'm at 13 now.
13. Okay.
Okay.
You want to split it? We each take 4.
I only have a maximum of 15 hit points.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah. Then I'll take 8. Sure. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Welcome.
Okay, Krishana as a celestial bard lock essentially has some healing as well. So who do you
We're all
want to
part
heal?
healers.
Yeah.
Who needs healing?
I think everybody's healed up at this point.
Yeah, I'm down 5 points, but that's
Okay, so you've all healed up some. Who do you actually check the back room at this point? The kitchen
Oh, yeah.
or? Okay, who goes in there first?
I'm
I
gonna
will.
look. Zumler's got the heavy armor, so I'm gonna motion for him to let's both go. I'll be right behind you.
Okay, Zumler, make a con check as you enter the kitchen.
Oh god.
You're a paladin. You're good at those.
Am I?
uh-huh.
Oh, he
Find
doesn't get proficiency on it, but it's like his con is on paladins tends to be good anyway. So we'll see. Okay,
It's a +1.
yes, 2 make a con save though.
Well, it's because we're level 3. You know, we're just going to be
Yeah,
really
sure.
brittle for a while until we get back up to a decent level. So
So I got 18.
Okay,
Sweet.
Right, who's the second person through?
Sorry?
I'm following him through.
Okay, also make a con save.
7.
Okay, so Zumler is just like he's a war veteran. He's seen bad stuff before. Papa Shane is not, however, is basically quickly realized that sausage roll he ate is Soylent Green is people. As you see, like a carcass that is obviously a person being like having been hung up and dried in the back room.
Well,
You do get a +5
I'm-
to your saves, by the way.
Well, you don't have aura of protection yet. I don't think that just happens until like 5th level.
yeah.
Okay.
It's later on.
Okay, but anyways, basically Papa Shane turns really green, comes running out of the kitchen, and throws up in a bucket.
well, that explains a lot about missing bodies.
But I don't think this is necessarily connect. I mean, I guess they're probably connected to the other people. This is where they dispose of their bodies. But
You at this point, Papa Shea has like, or at least most of you have put the whole thing together at this point. They've been feeding the bodies to their ghoul servants. So the Davenports have probably been feeding their the bodies of the recently deceased of their ghoul servants, which is why there are no bodies left.
Mhm.
So
And so the ghouls look all gaunt and bony, even if they are eating, right?
yes,
Yeah.
Okay, just because they are.
all right. So they're
we should probably get constables.
they're like as Papa Che is like wiping like green vomit off his lips and like flicking it into the bucket at this point, just like trying to find a rag or something to wipe up the rest. Is
Dirk,
like
Dirk would like to ask Zoomler if there's any distinguishing marks on the carcass that's hung up to dry that we could tie back with any of the missing on the 30 list.
Zilmer takes a look at the body. Yeah, it has that triangular puncture mark in the neck. So whoever did them in, I don't think it was the ghouls. I think the ghouls would be much more messier than whoever did this. So
Right.
let's assume it's the Davenports.
Any tattoos like moles, warts?
Building the
ahead.
ghostly coach, and you head out to the back, and there is a large black coach back here, with like a noble's coach, essentially, that can hold up to probably about 6-7 people comfortably in the cab. And there's a sort of large black like locker in the back. That is a trunk. You open up the boot, and it is sort of cool. The inside of this container is slightly cool to the touch, as if it's basically enchanted to basically keep whatever it's inside it refrigerated.
Nice.
There are like,
Buddies.
even though it has been carefully cleaned out, you can see faint, as you use light and basically or bright lanterns, you can see faint blood stains around the edges of this container.
Are there any marks on the coach, like a coat of arms or particular horses, or any way to tell?
Davenport coat of arms, essentially, and there's a
okay.
sort of like a purple. All the inside upholstery is a deep. The velvet upholstery is all a deep cushion purple, and there's sort of like a purple rose house sigil on the door to the coach, which Papa Shea remembers. Essentially, there was likewise a purple rose on the senior Davenport's armor.
Should we take this coach?
Yeah, we need to get the constables here, like, now. Like, is there any... Like, were there any outside?
So constables actually are not that far away. You can find a police station probably not
Right.
far away. Okay,
Like, I say,
the other
since-
point of interest is there is a small stable here with two black, shiny, sleek horses, essentially. They're definitely not Clydesdales, but they look sort of like Hefdeer, like they're draft horses. But as you approach, essentially, their eyes flare with supernatural red light as they try to kick your ass. And that's where we're going to leave it for this evening.
Nice.
So much fun, Lawrence. Thank you.
The vampiric horses basically bust out of the stables and try to kill you all.
Of course they do. I believe those would be black shires. Shires also come in bays, but they have a black shire, and they're just about the same size as a Clydesdale, but they're pure black.
Hey, I wanted to ask you, Lawrence, as I was looking up spiders to wild shape into, I feel like this one would basically be cheating, but there's a CR1 called a Spider King. Apparently it's from the Out of the Abyss module, but it's like 44 HP at CR1. Otherwise it's just
Yeah,
a
but I'm
spider.
saying I don't think that's an actual beast, though. I think it's a fiend. So
Yeah, it just showed up as beast. I was curious if that was...
Well, strangely enough, CR1. So, are you a moon druid or you're some other type of druid?
So it's, I forget, somebody in this group actually said they wrote it up. But it's basically a moon druid that's flavored for spiders.
Yeah, so that's fine. If you're a moon druid, you can be a CR1 critter, so that's fine.
Okay.
Okay. I just wanted to ask.
Yeah, because I think a bear is like 35 or 40 hit points, so it's like, or a
Yeah.
tiger, so that's well within the normal range of like CR1 creatures.
I want to thank you guys for having me, as always.
All right, cool.
And thank you for hosting. I will
All right,
see you.
great. So